Hello guys, welcome to another interesting video today. I'm really excited about yet another comparison video, and I also realized that those type of videos, besides the reviews of the new product launches, are the most excited videos for you. I made this video with the intention that hopefully this will help you with your shopping decisions based on yet another experience with the certain brand. In this case, with two brands, you haven't tried brand yet, or you want to purchase something new from each of these brands. Let's dive into this video tutorial, and I will see you in my final thoughts. The idea for Pat McGrath's side is to create more of purple makeup look, but we'll see how it's gonna go. So first of all, I started with the Danessa Myricks Groundwork palette for my base. So I added a little bit of shadow and direction that will help me. And for that, I went first with the Harvest pomade, but then I realized that this is too brown, even though it's a bit reddish. I went with the tourmaline, so I got a kind of a mixture. It's not like super black or super deep color, but just a little bit to enhance everything. Which shade should I use first? I am going to start with the latest Mothership palette, which is number 11, Sunlit Seduction. And I will use, I really do love this shade, even though it's pink. It's not too pink, and I really love the undertone of this one. And since this is going to be kind of a base for today, I would love to start with this one in my crease. Now, what I also wanted to mention is that I do have my base already. It is Pillows base number 2. Yeah, once again, it reminded me how the pigment on this one is really strong. Something that I really love and enjoy when it comes to this formula. I will see where this is gonna go, but most likely I'm going to use just 5 Pan and her Mothership. I'm not sure about the holiday Mothership palette, as if you watch my channel in general, you know how kind of a disappointed I am with that one. So this one goes right into my crease, like so, and I will also follow along this line right here. So see how now this line helps me to like determine the direction. And also I will go really high with this one, but let me take different blending brush for the edges. When it comes to eyeshadow quality and performance, if we put aside the color story for a second, if we are going to talk just about the quality, I'll say that her Mothership palettes are the best quality here. Also, she has like those quads. This is obviously really expensive palette, but she also has her quads. But in her quads, you really get like a fraction of the shades because you are limited to 4 shades, where here in Big Mothership, you do get more variety, of course. But if when it comes to budget, if you want to try her best Italian formula within the eyeshadows, then you can definitely go with this and try and pick up the color story that you prefer the most. But not only the color story, like she has her mattes and her special shades, which in my opinion are one of the best shades on the market that I've tried. The next shade will be Midnight Iris from the Lunar Nightshade palette. This is from her Bijou collection, and I'm really enjoying this palette. I've used this I don't know how many times already, but I really do love this one. So this one will go on top of the base here. Now, after trying a couple of times when it comes to her 5 Pan eyeshadow formula, which by the way, it's also her Italian formula, I'll say that I really do enjoy that one. And I did create a couple of looks, and I do have dedicated video for, I think, what was it? These two palettes, and this is Bronze Ecstasy. And once again, I'll just say how I'm amazed what I could pull off with just 5 eyeshadows, which I really appreciate. Now, in her 5 Pan eyeshadow palettes in general, you will get more of the shimmers and glittery shades, but even those mattes, they are different. They're much more kind of a creamier. Yeah, the texture is creamier from the 5 Pan than from Mothership. From Mothership, they are a little bit more powdery, where these are not so much powdery. They're kind of a lean a little bit towards satin color. The formula is good. It's performing well, which you will be able to see in a second. But again, it is different than her mothership. But of course, when you talk about the packaging, it's way different than this one. But the thing here is, for the price point that she gave in here, I would always encourage you to go with this formula if you want to try Pat McGrath, which is not the case with her bigger mothership bijou palettes for this holiday. I think in general was kind of a bit disappointing as well. And here's why. I understand that we have divided price points and that she gave as much as she could for that price point. But honestly, like even with the color story and also especially with the quality, I don't, like I mentioned, I don't care if I have 20 eyeshadows inside. If the quality is not good, I'm not interested in it. You know, what am I gonna do with it? Just for the lower price point. That's all what I wanted to mention. And I think that is the biggest issue that I have when it comes to lowering down the price, also lowering down the quality. The quality is not good. I can live with packaging that is cardboard, that is not like super luxurious and stir and like one of the best packagings. That is fine. I can even go with a smaller portion of the eyeshadows. Again, fine. But the quality, if the quality is amazing, regardless of the packaging, regardless the size of the eyeshadow, I would purchase it again, you guys, because if something is good and it's like, I really need to have this. But again, having 20 eyeshadows with no quality, I might as well just forget about it. Okay, this is really, really great combination. Wow, it looks really beautiful even on, especially on the brown eyes. Beautiful. I love this. And I also know for the shimmer what it's going to be on top of everything. And this blended so beautifully. Wow, no patching, no nothing. Beautiful. I will also deepen up this later, but for now, just leave it like so. This is pretty simple. With just 2 eyeshadows, it's looking great. Taking some Vaseline, got my crease, and I will go all in with the shimmers. I'm going in with the Beauties base. Yeah, this is looking great. Like even the combination, just the tone of this primer looks so beautifully within this color. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going back with the deeper shade here. But also I am moving back to the lighter one because I want this area to be set. And now the idea that I had. So I will go first with this shade right here from the same palette that I've used. And this one is called Platinum Moonlight. And this one goes right into my inner corner. Ooh, I think I took too much. The texture is a bit weird, but you can see the result of it. It's beautiful. I will go with this purplish special shade right here, and I will leave this middle area kind of open because I'm still debating what am I going to use. And this purple shade will go beautifully with everything else that we have in here. It goes beautifully. Let me show you these 2 colors, by the way. So the first rosy shade that I've used, and then this purplish. I love the idea behind the combination of these 2. I think they look beautifully. Oh wait, I know what I was supposed to use. This one or that one. So I'm using this shade, kind of combining it towards the deepest area at the end. Now we'll switch to this pink shade right here. And I will start to kind of slowly blending it towards everything. The textures are different. So the lightest shade right here from the 5 pan, it is a bit more chunkier. So this is how it looks like. I think I'm going to leave it like this. Or maybe I just go with this shade a little bit, which is Pale Amethyst. It is gorgeous, gorgeous shade. Just like in the middle. To emphasize everything, I'm going back with the Midnight Iris shade once again, just around these edges. For the highlight, I will mix these 2, because I think that the first shade, it's a bit like, I don't know, too light for this. I will go and apply some lashes, and I will see where I'm gonna go from there. What do I wanna do first? The deeper shade first. For the lower lash line, I already, of course, I always have my base underneath. Nothing without the base. Yeah, I just really love how this combo turned out. And even regardless of a different formula, I like to see that everything can come together, especially when it comes to blending. Gonna use this shade again. Because it's not necessarily that like different eyeshadows will blend perfectly together, you know? Different textures and formulas, it can make it a bit challenging sometimes. I really do love this this contrast. With a smaller brush, I'm going in with the deeper shade, also a little bit here. Just try to connect everything. Now for the beginning, I will go again with the lightest shade. This one is really pigmented, and I am just repeating the shades that I already used here as well. I will apply some lashes and I will be right back. I'm ready to move on to a Natasha Denona's side for today. I do have a couple of her midis and mini eyeshadow palettes, and the one that I decided to go today with, I'm just going to, for the most part, get away from the blues and the grays, because I feel like that's a lot that I've done recently, and I wanted to play with some oranges, and for that, I would love to use this Natasha Denona My Dream palette, which, by the way, by the time you see this video, she already announced her mini version of the My Dream palette collection. So there will be a little blush. What I wanted to say, how grateful I am when it comes to Natasha Denona, is how consistent she is with her formula quality, whether we talk about big or small size, or honestly anything when it comes to her eyeshadows. What I do love is how consistent it is. So basically, if you wanted to give it a test to her formula, you can always go by her 5-pan eyeshadow palette or her 3-pan baby eyeshadow palette, or you can of course have multiple choices with her midi size palette. But one thing is for sure, she does have a lot of different formulas: matte, cream to powder, shimmers, satins, multi-chrome, etc. But what you're gonna get in your mini eyeshadow palette is equally good as her big palette. And now I just wanted to check, like we have in a small, we have 0.8 grams. Yes, these are not the same size, like these, the size of the eyeshadow is smaller, but in saying that, the quality it's on the same level. And also when it comes to color story, I'll say that Natasha Denon is one of the best brands overall that creates amazing color story ideas, and I know that comes from her background being a makeup artist, and I really appreciate that. This time I'm going to do the same technique as right here, and I went with the pomades, core and tourmaline mixed together. This is orange undertone, and I was thinking when I swatched some of the when I swatched some of the shades, hope nothing broke. As much as I use this palette now, I always figure new ways to combine certain shades. I think this one is one of the most, My Dream palette, one of the most versatile palettes when it comes to color story and the textures as well. So mixing Familia and putting Invention on top of it, it looks so beautiful. So that's what is going to be my base, I guess, for today. But first I'm going in with, I'm gonna go in with Carpe Diem shade. I will take the excess off. This is gorgeous, warm undertone. Like it's not super red, but it's something I'll say in between neutral and warm shade. And this one goes again, same as on this side, goes on into my crease. This is the first round of the eyeshadow application, and I'm gonna go again using smaller brush right now from this area right towards here. Now once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go in with this gorgeous Familia shade. I think I used this shade, or maybe even, no, just I think Familia. The last glam look that I did, I think it was a brown look. It looked beautiful. This one, wow, this one is super pigmented. I'm going to take blending brush and blend these two together really well. I can't wait to apply that orange invention shade. That one is gorgeous, and I don't think I used that one a lot. Now it is time to cut a crease once I apply these two shades, and I will deal with some of the details later as well. So right here I am done with the cut crease. The process is the same. I will go in back with Familia shade right here. I will also later deepen up a little bit. We'll go back later as well. Carpe Diem shade. Now Invention is gonna go into the center. Gorgeous, gorgeous shade. Like I said, it's gonna go beautifully with the Familia shade. But I feel I need some fixing spray. Yes, definitely, it's even better. Okay, which one should I use next? I want to go in with the shade Thrill. I'm stuck with the My Dream palette, just because once I swatched those two shades, they really grabbed my attention. I'm like, I don't remember using those two together like that, and they look gorgeous. Now I feel like I need something more vibrant. Actually, I don't, but compared to this side, I would like to have something much more vibrant. I'm taking Familia again, and I want to combine, like make a transition between these two. I will figure what else is I need as I go, but for now, I just wanted to switch to a lower lash line. First shade is Carpe Diem. And make sure while you apply these eyeshadows that you actually take off the excess, because they are quite powdery. I'm barely touching my skin, but when you have nicely hydrated and also good base, it grabs beautifully. But let me just grab my bullet brush, Familia. And this is gonna look much better once I clean everything. Just for the inner corner, I guess touch of Thrill, and I'm just going back, you guys, with the same color story. And also Invention. I wanted to say that Invention can get a little bit kind of chunky, so you have to take care of the way you apply this one. Of course, when I clean everything, it's going to look much better. It's going to have the right shape. I love both of these eyes. Also right here, I'm going in with a little bit of Thrill. I love both of these eye looks. I will finish off by applying a little bit of a liner and also the lashes, and I will finish off my face. I'll be right back. I love both of these brands, but one thing that mostly above anything stands out when it comes to these two brands is the quality consistency. Let me explain what I mean by that. The main thing dividing these two brands for me is, I think I already mentioned this in a tutorial, whether we talk about midi-size or mini-size products from Natasha Denona or baby edition of the palettes. And I'm talking mostly for the recent products, especially for the last, I'll say, year and a half. What is happening is that Natasha is really consistent with the quality. Now, one thing that disappointed me the most is having Mothership palette that is extremely quality when it comes to eyeshadows and different textures as well. We have different Mothership palette for combined with the blushes for the way less. We have quality that is way down than the Mothership. And that is something, like I already said, I don't care how many eyeshadows do I have in here. But the problem comes when the quality is not what we are used to in her original Italian formula, whether we talk about her quads or the big Mothership with the 10 eyeshadows. And here we have 9 eyeshadows, 2 blushes. But in saying that, like I mentioned, even if we have 12 eyeshadows in here, still it doesn't justify not only the price, but is just kind of a disappointment because of when you're used to certain quality, now we have a certain standard from the brand, and everything lower than that, it's not gonna satisfy the customer. One thing I can live with is outside packaging and some other details, because my number one is performance and of course the quality, the color story. So the two things that I could kind of combine, and what I did today was using her, and these are from the newest release, holiday release, 5-pan eyeshadow palettes. Not this one, but I use this one, and also the Mothership palette. One thing these have in common is that they're both Italian formula, even though these are different than this one. But this one is, even though it's from Italy, I feel like these are different. I don't feel like they're potentially even from the same manufacturer, if that makes sense, just because of the way these apply, but definitely having different formula. But in saying that, the application, the blendability, I really do love and enjoy. What I haven't filmed today is that when it comes to blush, I did use her Paradise Venus blush for today's look. I think it's really appropriate considering the whole makeup situation today. And it fits both, especially this Natasha side, even better than kind of this one. But it suits really, and it sits on the skin really, really great. And again, I understand considering we have 2 blushes and 9 eyeshadows and everything that is going on here. Maybe she wanted to be a bit more approachable and to give a lower price, and I completely understand that. But I wish that instead she kept original formula for this price and even give a less eyeshadows, but the greatest quality that she has. When it comes to her special shades, except for this red shade right here, burgundy red, that was kind of a disappointment because of the way how it applies, even though I was originally the most excited about that one. But one thing I can say, that nothing pairs on the level of her special shades. Not even from my another favorite brand, which is Natasha Denona. Like, these are really, really special. I understand the price point behind the whole story behind the Mothership palette, and I don't feel bad about it just because I know what we get in here. But another thing that I do appreciate when it comes to Natasha is her creative upscale color stories that she comes with. I think it's really amazing. I think for me as a makeup artist, it is so exciting to see that. Usually I get skeptical when it comes to eyeshadow palettes that are having maybe 3, 4, or 5 eyeshadows. But when I get really excited is when I can achieve amazing, amazing result with only 5-pan eyeshadow palettes. And these two were my greatest excitement. The looks that I created with these 2 products individually are amazing. If you are on a budget and you want to try the formula or even some of the newest releases, if this is your color story, perhaps, for example, Natasha Denona, I know this says not going to be everybody's color story. For example, then when we have something much more neutral, which, by the way, the new mini version of the My Dream palette is coming really soon, and I think that one will be widely familiar to a lot of you because of the neutralness of the eyeshadows. That will be a good start or good formula to try without breaking the bank, you know. When it comes to Pat McGrath, her 5-pan eyeshadow palettes are Italian formula, even though they're a bit different than Mothership. They are good quality. The only downside of this, I would say, if you want to try this, is that you are limited when it comes to mattes. But in saying that, you can try her formula in this version, or also, which it comes a bit more expensive, in her quad palettes. I'm also wearing Pat McGrath highlighter, which is Divine Glow highlighter in Golden Moonlight, and I'm really, really loving this one. I think even more than an Hourglass from their holiday palette, and it is called Celestial Strobe Light, which is one of their I think, best sellers, and it's really, really good. But in formulation, I don't know, I just felt like this one is a bit more even subtle, and it sits better on top of my skin. Another thing that I would say, I think that is a long anticipated wish from a lot of us, is for the next mothership to be a certain specific color story that is not only based on browns or pinks or some golden shades, but to have a pop of the color. I think that will be really, really great. Another thing when it comes to buying makeup on a budget, Pat McGrath, at certain points, she has even 30% off of her mothership palettes, and also of course, other products. But if you want to try this palette for less, that would be great time to try that. Also, when it comes to Natasha Denona, even for no matter what you buy on her website, and it's something that I really love, you can get 15% off certain discounts. If you, for example, you can use my code Ivana15, and that will give you 15% off of anything from the website that you want to buy. Plus, you can use your, but I think it's separately, with each purchase from the Natasha's website, you collect the points, so you can redeem your points as well, and it can save you sometimes even more than 15%. And I think that is pretty amazing when it comes to buying, and really encouraging to buy from the official site of the brand. I will conclude this video with the excitement actually with how these two looks turned out today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below when it comes to both of these brands. Do you like them both equally, or you are leaning a bit more towards certain brand? And let me know why. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I will see you guys in my next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.